Hey, it's the last review for 2019. What better way to go out than to review a sparkling wine from Washington State? We're going to go ahead and review this Riesling demi-sec from Treveri Cellars out of Wapato, Washington. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Scott. You have tuned into the Rookie Wine and Whiskey Enthusiast channel, YouTube's primary channel, where you're going to find reviews of Washington State wines and spirits, but not exclusively. I know some of you are wondering, well, hey, you said you were going to review my third spirit for the holiday season. You know what? Family issues came up, and I spent more time with my family than I did sitting behind the camera here, and to be honest with you, I don't miss it. But I will be reviewing that particular port finished bourbon sometime in the next month, as I've got some new things and new ideas that I want to do, and we'll be discussing those at that time. But in the meantime, go ahead and let's do that whole YouTube thing. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button if you like this video. That way the algorithms say, hey, if you like this video, maybe more people will take a look at it. Also, when you do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon right next to it. That way, when I do upload videos like this, you'll be some of the first to know. So, what we're going to go ahead and do now, I have not used this glass. These are champagne glasses that my wife and I got when we were married well over 23 years ago. I don't think we've used them since. We don't normally drink sparkling wine or champagne, and when we have, it's usually been in a mimosa. But this is Treveri Cellars, and here in the state of Washington, they do some that's their specialty, really, is they do some spectacular sparkling wines using Washington State grapes. This is a Riesling. On the back label here, they have a little Latin saying, don't even ask me to say it, but basically it translates into, in matters of taste, there is no argument. So, let's go ahead and get right into the nose. Obviously, this is a Riesling. So you're going to have the color of a Riesling. It is kind of and I don't have my Wine Folly color guide, but I would say this has a slight pink note to it, but also it's very pale, very clear. Let's go in the nose. Oh, right off the bat, I'm getting that crisp Fuji apple. There's a little bit of a dry, earthy note to it. Almost a cut grass note. I'm also getting some melon and some kind of a sweet melon. Honeydew. I should open these up a little bit more often. By the way, I picked up this Treveri Cellars at Costco for, I want to say it was $12. I got a couple bottles. Obviously, I'm shooting this before New Year's, but let's be honest, got to taste test it to make sure. I actually have about 3 or 4 bottles down in my cellar. They have a sparkling Syrah that they had that I really, really enjoyed. They also have several other sparkling wines, but like I said, this is the Riesling. What's more appropriate than a white sparkling wine? Let's go ahead and take a sip. This is very crisp, very clean. This is a dry to off dry. The acid is very prominent. The fruit flavors, there's very little difference in what I got on the nose. I mean, I'm getting that semi-sweet Fuji apple, but this time I am getting a little bit more of a tart apple note to it. The honeydew melon is still prominent, but it's more of a background prominence. You imagine if you're looking at a choir, you have that tall person standing in the background. They stand out, but you can barely hear them. I don't know if that analogy is really very good, but oh well, that's what I got. The grass note is there as well. It's a sparkling wine. You know, I'm getting that bubbly sense on my palate. It's actually kind of savory. The finish on this is relatively short, but it's refreshing. Like I said, there's a very good acidic note to this. I think that's probably what's giving it a little bit of a bite to it. The alcohol on this is 12% alcohol by volume. So this is a very good semi-dry Riesling-based sparkling wine. I would have no problem serving this New Year's Eve or for any special occasion. Matter of fact, I may actually, as somebody who likes a good dry Riesling, and Washington State has some very sweet Rieslings, I'm glad to see that this is not one of those sweet-based Rieslings, that they kept it semi-dry, off-dry. What am I going to rate this? This is, for New Year's, like I said, I'm not normally going to drink something like this, but for New Year's, I would put this up against most California sparkling wines. This is a very decent, very good rating. I'm going to give this 88, 89 out of 100. I think the wine would probably not work well for mimosas, though, because of how acidic it is. You don't want to mix that up with another acidic juice like orange juice. I would go for more of a sweet sparkling wine if you're going to do mimosas. This is not a mimosa style. This would go great with some a charcuterie tray with some very fatty cuts of meat on there, some fatty cheeses. Let me go ahead and another sip of this. Yeah. Definitely some fatty cuts of meat, some fatty cheeses. So, that being said, have you had Treveri Cellars? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think my tasting notes are off, or do you think I'm spot on? Also, just to kind of give you a heads up, since this is my last review for 2019, I'm going to give you guys a heads up. Some of my plans, I'm still going to stick with the wine reviews as best I can. I'm going to try to put those out every Sunday. With regards to my spirits reviews, and I say spirits and not just whiskey. I prefer whiskey, don't get me wrong. But Washington State has a growing distillery culture, the Pacific Northwest especially, but Washington State, and I mean, we're talking not just talking Westland, Woodinville, or Dry Fly. There's Copperworks, there's Batch 206, there is Tatoosh. There's a whole bunch of other distilleries that are coming on board. I've got one down in Tacoma I absolutely fell in love with. It's called Old Soldier. And what I'm hoping to do is I want to take my bourbon spirits night and turn it into a, let's highlight this particular distillery, maybe for the month of January or February or whatever, and do a couple of videos showcasing some of the spirits that these distilleries are really exploring. And the reason I want to go this direction, and I'm using one distillery in particular, it's Batch 206 out of Seattle. They not only have a really good straight bourbon, and they've got some whiskeys that I was lucky enough to get into their barrel room and taste some of the stuff that they have in the barrels that are going to be coming out. But he has some unique takes on agave spirits, on some gins that I think are really noticeable, and I'm looking forward to exploring the distilleries themselves here in Washington State and somewhat in Oregon and Idaho and possibly Montana. So kind of expanding it. Like I said, this is from Montana to Washington and Idaho and Oregon and Wyoming. There's some really good agricultural things going on, and the distilleries are finally taking notice. So that being said, please go ahead and, like I said, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and let me know what you guys think. Let's make 2020 a year to be proud of. Enjoy the wines responsibly. Enjoy the spirits responsibly. Please, for New Year's, do not drink and drive. Uber anywhere you go if you plan on drinking. There is a reason why Uber is so useful. Don't want any of my subscribers or anybody else that watches this to go ahead and hurt themselves or hurt somebody else this New Year's. So please take Uber. Please drink responsibly. And as always, life is too short for either bad wine or bad whiskey, or in 2020, or bad spirits. Cheers. Happy New Year's, everybody.